ACR Solar International with Al Rich, and basically your company was the first to ever be certified for solar water heaters, right?
Yeah, back in 1989, we were the first company through the Solar Rating and Certification Corporation, what they call the OG300 system certification. There were already collector certifications before that. What was kind of unique is that they were expecting to have copper and glass traditional collectors. I gave them plastic and rubber, which was not what they were expecting. So,
which was more efficient, right?
well, it was a lot lighter weight. It was easier to install. The actual efficiency of the copper and glass collectors was probably more, about 10–15%. But there are other advantages and other reasons to have a much lighter weight, easier to install, and lower cost collector. The neat thing is that we are now coming out with a rubber absorber called the MegaMat, the fourth patent, that actually is as efficient or more efficient than copper, and we're expecting it to actually outperform, when we use a special glass glazing on that.
So tell me about solar in general. Do you think solar energy keeps getting hotter? It seems like it.
Well, from a standpoint of sales, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, its cost is coming down, which is of course a critical component. They're really getting when it comes to solar electric, jumping off the solar water heater to solar electric. They've got the panels down to a pretty standardized size. They're now, the power density is pretty good, so you can buy a panel that's it's 39 inches wide, which is over 3 feet, like 65 inches high, and it's a real standard size now. And they have 250 watts or more per panel. That's pretty good. And the price of those is down enough so that we can offer a really good return on investment to people, even in SMUD where the utility rates are lower than PG&E. One of the things we try to do is we don't try to just sell a big system. That's not the point. What we try to do is sell a cost-effective system. So we're working at primarily peak shaving. There's a certain level that's at like 9 cents in SMUD, and that cost is kind of the base rate
Per kilowatt hour.
Right, and then over that it jumps to double, 18 cents.
Okay.
We try to shave that off.
Okay.
And that is what makes the system cost effective. So people can see returns in anywhere from the 9 to 12, 13 year range a lot of times. That's pretty good return on investment for your money.
And plus, isn't efficiency constantly improving anyway through
Yes.
new technology?
It is. It's gotten to a pretty high level right now. So right now, we're not going to be looking at, there's a big revolutionary change. Things don't really work that way in the real world. You hear all this stuff, but then when the rubber meets the road, we're at a good efficiency right now. We're at probably anywhere around 15 to 17%. Now you can have higher efficiency, but then you pay a lot higher price.
Yeah.
Then the cost effectiveness goes down. So we're at that really good balance point right now where things work from a standpoint.
But from the perspective now, compared with 20 years ago, it's a lot more efficient, right?
It's a world different. Yes, absolutely.
So then,
even 10 years.
Do you have to? Yeah. Do you have to deal with that perception ever when you're trying to sell these systems and people say, "Oh, I had solar 10 years ago and it didn't work right."
Well, hardly anybody did have solar electric 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now with the solar water heating, that's been around for 30 years, and that can happen. There were shoddy workmanship, stuff like that. But for the most part, we have people who are buying a new system that did buy it 30 years ago and they loved it. It was working great, for all those years. They wouldn't be without it.
Well, I noticed your systems are a lot more attractive when people drive by and see it on a roof, and that's one of the I think selling points it has, as opposed to the ones that have these big weird contraptions on the roof that don't look good and that that homeowners associations won't even allow.
It's one of the things we went after was aesthetics. We feel a solar water heating system can and should look good, and so we came up with 26 different architectural colors. We came up with a long, narrow design, which has less connections in it too, which is one of the features. You know, it just has less chances, less places to leak, and it's a simpler system. So that's one of the things that we designed into it, was attractiveness, ease of installation, lightweight, that sort of thing.
So attractive, it attracted the Smothers brothers, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is kind of fun. This is a picture of Tommy Smothers, and he plays the kind of the butt of the jokes and a lot of the little things, but he's actually very, very smart, delightful person. He is just such a wonderful person. So this is my daughter Catherine, who's now 23 and just engaged and going to get married next summer, and son Clark, daughter Ashley, who actually runs ACR Solar Roofs, and then my youngest son Thomas. Now this was a few years ago. He's now 15, but he's, I think about 10 or so in that picture.
So you're all still friends with the Tommy Smothers?
Yeah, and the fun thing about this is what he did was he was teaching them all to yo-yo. He's a yo-yo expert.
I remember the song Yo-Yo Man.
Yeah, that's it. I've got a T-shirt, yo-yo. Anyway, what's kind of cool is that Catherine is actually marrying a friend of Tom Smothers. Stuart Crump used to write a yo-yo newsletter, and they were good friends, and so Tom knows Stuart Crump real well, and his son Tim is who Catherine's marrying. So
okay,
kind of a unique connection there.
Yeah.
So I've got to. That's right. I've got to let Tom know about that. So you're just reminding me to do that. That's a fairly recent event. So.
Now, outside of Tommy Smothers, I guess another superstar that you're associated with would be Smud, right?
Smud. Yeah. Well, Smud's awesome. I mean, they've been dedicated to solar for so long, and
they're one of the leaders in the nation. Is what I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And frankly, it was 23 years ago that we received a phone call from somebody at SMUD, from James Dully, who's a syndicated columnist for energy, articles, and somebody out here in SMUD saw that article, called us back in Virginia, and invited us out here to be part of the SMUD program. Well, that was the genesis of us being out here. And
so that's why you moved to Carmichael. Huh?
That's right. An incredible move, moving the factory and family. And that was quite something back in around 1990. It took us about 2 years to get everything together, and we moved everything out at the end of 2002. Yes. And we've been in this place for all that time. Actually, different places in this building, but now we're back to the original spot.
Right.
Marjorie, our landlady, has just been amazing. Reed and Associates, real estate. But she's a good friend, and she's been really part of supporting ACR Solar Roofs for a long time. We call it ACR Solar Roofs because Solar Roofs is our website, and ACR Solar is the company, so that works out well.
So solarroofs.com is the website to find all this.
Right.
On Gibbons Drive, just off of Fair Oaks Boulevard.
Yep.
Carmichael.
That's right.
Thank you, Al, and
Thank you.
we'll talk again in another segment here.
All right, Alex.